This is Jasmine, and my channel is Sober and Fabulous. And I have taken quite a hiatus from posting any videos, any content. So I decided to make a video today, talk about where I've been, what's been going on in my life, and there's been a lot. And hopefully, I'll get more in the mood to start doing more videos. So, I'll start with today. Today I had an amazing therapy session. I have a new therapist and I sought out a therapist that specializes in trauma, that had some experience with either EMDR or something similar to that type of therapy practice. And I have found what is called ART, Accelerated Resolution Therapy. And it is very similar to EMDR, with the eye movement being a big part of the therapy session. I have not actually been through an EMDR session, and I've watched some videos though of people talking about their experience with them. From what I take, EMDR, you work on one memory or one specific incident, feeling, that you work on that memory over a period of like 8 to 12 weeks with hour-long sessions. So with ART, it is a shorter session in that I so far have done 2 sessions with my therapist, both on kind of I don't want to say unrelated because they are all related, but both on different memories, different topics. And she goes through a script. I don't believe that EMDR is as scripted, just from what I've read. Again, I've not experienced it, but I do plan on experiencing it at some point in my life. So today I worked on my body image, how I feel about myself. And what's truly remarkable in both sessions of ART is when I first think of what is triggering me, what's upsetting me. So today I was thinking about body shaming. I used to be really, really thin when I was younger. I had a very high metabolism, could not gain weight at all. Now I'm the heaviest that I've ever been, and I experience body shaming from people all around me, and I do it to myself. So I'm really frustrated with the fact that I'm doing it to myself. And I want to be healthier. I want to lose weight. And since I've turned 30, which was 13 years ago, I have struggled with being able to take weight off. I will exercise, I will eat healthy, nothing changes. So I felt like today I was like, something's going on inside my brain. Like, let's talk to my brain. I realized that something that I've associated with my body, whether it's my weight, when I was younger, lack of weight, lack of breasts, because when I was younger, that was super noticeable. It's still noticeable now that I'm not well endowed in the chest area. And it's frustrating because I have let what other people have said to me, I've let my idea that I would be more of a woman if I had bigger boobs. I wouldn't feel as fat if I had bigger boobs. I have gone through all of these thoughts. And today, when I did my session, I just had this incredibly rational thought where I realized that I have associated men that have walked away from me, relationships ending, and how I looked. That's how I corresponded the two. That they didn't have something going on with themselves. That, maybe it was something in my personality that altered this change. The big thing that I realized is that it was them. They had an issue with themselves. And there's nothing that I could have done. I could have been my slimmest. I could have had the biggest boobs in the world. And they still would have walked away from me. I also realized that now, because of the work that I've put into myself, being sober, doing therapy, I'm coming into a very healthy version of myself. And for years, I was not in a healthy version. I didn't know. Oh, I knew that I wasn't in a healthy version, but I really thought that being with a man was going to take away all of these feelings of self-doubt that I had. All of my insecurities would just suddenly vanish, and they didn't. Had I had a very long relationship that ended this year. And there were some not so good times, but there were some very good times in that relationship. But it didn't take away my insecurities. And I now find myself, because we're broken up, wondering if he ever really loved me. Wondering if, because I'm overweight, that's why he walked away from me. I'm so frustrated with myself. I feel like that's such a shallow thing to think. So, like, there's this constant battle inside of me. And yes, I know that's shallow to think, but people do it all the time. My father did it. And I grew up with someone that, I grew up with a man that objectified women. And that has had a huge impact on me. I didn't want to be looked at when I was becoming a teenager and getting into my womanhood. I did not want to be looked at, so much so that I am pretty sure I sabotaged my body at times. And it's frustrating because I let that influence affect me so strongly, so terrified to be looked at by someone. Not every man is my father. That's something that I'm realizing also. And it's okay to be looked at. It's okay for men to look at women. It's okay for women to look at men. And there's a healthy version of that. What I grew up with was not healthy. So, I'm just happy to be in this place of realizing that the realization of so many things is becoming very, very helpful. I've cut alcohol and drugs out of my system. And it's been over a year. It's been like a year and 3 months, I think. Over a year and 3 months. So I'm feeling better about that. I now have a job. I work Monday through Friday. I've always had a job. But this is a set schedule. I know when I go to work. I know when I'm getting paid. I enjoy my job. I feel like I'm recognized at work. And I'm good at what I do. And I feel like whatever job that I do, I've always been good at. But I've always been entry level. And I've struggled with success. I've struggled with thinking that I was good enough. So I'm working on that. And it's hard because it's not hard, but it is hard. I have wanted recognition for how capable I am as a person for so long. So I'm finally in that job. I have that schedule. I'm eating regularly. And it takes time. I realize that too. Like, my body has undergone a huge transformation. I dislocated my kneecap. I'm having surgery next month. And I plan on joining the gym after I get through physical therapy because it's been painful to do certain things. When I was in rehab and I was doing yoga like 4 or 5 times a week, it felt truly incredible. And I have struggled with um, eating to feel good as a reward, which I used to do with drugs and alcohol for sure, and I've done with food for a long time. I don't want to do that anymore. So that's something I'm going to work on with my art therapy. I want to be able to look at myself and love myself. I struggle with that right now. And I'm just being honest. I'm being brutally honest. This is not like a feel sorry for me or, poor Jasmine. I don't want anyone to ever listen to this and think that. Poor Jasmine. I'm just being brutally honest because it is so much easier to be brutally honest than it is to sit here and lie. And I've lied for so long. I've worn masks for so long. I was trained as a child to wear masks. These are words that my father actually told me. Like, it's totally normal to wear masks. Everyone wears masks. And I did it for many years. I wore a mask, making everyone think that I had my life together. That, yeah, I'd been through some bad things, but I was fine. And I wasn't. I was far, far away from being fine. And those masks I even wore them when I did therapy before. I mean, I could not take them off until when I went into rehab a year ago. I just broke down all my walls. I broke off all my masks and I started telling the truth. And to, people I didn't know. And I've never felt so much better or so much like relief in a way. And there's been so much that's changed in my life since I did that. And I still hid things. I still tried to pretend that things were normal when they weren't. I still thought that being in a relationship outweighed my happiness and my sanity. I still thought being told I love you was, more important than being respected. And it's a hard reality to realize. I am in control. I feel like my emotions are just, constantly all over the place. But it's also super healthy for me because I always thought that I had to be so flippin' positive. And I don't have to be so flippin' positive. I can be frustrated. I can be angry. I can be disgusted. So I told my therapist today, when I think about my body image, I feel disgust. And what frustrates me and disgusts me so much sometimes is that people look at me and they assume things because of what I weigh, rather than get to know me, know my intellect, know what makes me laugh, know what makes me sad. And that is super disgusting to me and frustrating. And at the same time, I have eyes. I do it. I then assume other people are doing it. So, it's just, I don't know. I'm just frustrated with that. I'll just say that. I'm very frustrated. I'm frustrated with myself. I'm like, why can't, I feel like people look at me and I'm like, oh, she let herself go. And if they knew the amount of work and effort and things that I've tried, it's frustrating. And I know that people think that. I saw myself today. So how the art session goes, you bring up a negative memory and you do body scans. I'm probably not going to get it all right, but there's certain parts of it that I really love. So, I thought to myself about times when I was younger when I was body shamed, times that I've been with men that I've been body shamed. I was once with a guy who told me he really loved breasts, and clearly I don't have large breasts, and I kept being intimate with him for some hideous reason on my part, as if it hurt me. It still hurts me to this day. There are certain things that you just shouldn't say to someone. So those were the hard memories that I first remembered, and then you go through a process of the memory stays there, but I'm allowed to erase it. I'm allowed to paint over it. I'm allowed to put happy memories up. I'm allowed to, and we keep processing it. And that has to do with the eye movement. And then in between, doing that and playing the story over, like I said, I would get some really rational thought. Like, why am I letting people that did not want to be with me, why am I letting them hold so much power inside of my head and they don't think about me? That's like, first of all, they don't think about me. They're part of my past. And they didn't care about me, so they're gone. And I have moved on, but it's still like, it still eats away at me. Like, but what if? And it's like, and I had this moment of clarity, was that Jasmine, they walked away because they have their own issues. Let it be. And it was a really beautiful moment where I was like, wow, I have really put myself in an equation that I wasn't a part of. And it's emotional, I have insecurity issues. I have trust issues. I either overtrust or I don't trust at all. So, these feelings of insecurity, I have a tendency to continue them through relationships and through friendships, through my life. And I'm constantly reminding myself that I am not a sad little girl. I wasn't a sad little girl, first of all. Yes, bad things happened to me. Some also very fantastic things happened to me. I realized that I am an intelligent, beautiful woman. I wouldn't be sitting here describing myself that way if I didn't have positive influences in my life at some point in time. So I'm grateful for that. It's about, I feel like what the art allows my brain to do is it looks at the memory and it's like, okay, yes, this happened. Do I want to keep reliving this memory? No, I don't. Why don't we put that in the memory bank and bring out some really awesome memories? Because I was a kid that, I got made fun of for wearing glasses and for being flat-chested. But I was also a kid that, didn't care what other people thought. I had my own sense of style. I listened to classical music because I liked classical music. I listened to, whatever I wanted to listen to. I embraced the oddities that I had, and I loved it. I loved to read. I loved school. And that's the Jasmine that I'm really honing in on. She had it going on. And just, remembering that I can also change things. Just the amount of beautiful things that have changed in my life. The job that I now have, the goals that I have now, that I want to go back to school and finish my undergrad. I already have my associates, so I'm halfway there. That I want to own my house whenever I graduate with my undergrad, and I can do that. I want to possibly get my master's in whatever it is to become a librarian. It's like librarian. Oh, there's a degree. Anyway. And one day I might become a librarian because I absolutely love books and I love the idea of being a librarian. I love that I have these ideas and I know I can do them. I know that I'm quite capable. I've started painting and it turns out I'm actually not that bad. And I enjoy it. It's fun. I draw. I have a sketch pad. I use it. I've had sketch pads for years that just sat blank and empty. So I feel like my creative juices are flowing more. And that feels good. I want to be single for at least a year, and I told my therapist that year starts a week ago when I did an art session on the end of that relationship and just not clinging on to it. Not playing the what if game or what did I do wrong. Just letting it go, letting it be. And it's still, I have to remind myself that I did nothing wrong. And it still hurts at times, but it's getting less. And it's life. Things happen. People change. Life, we move on. I think that's a very healthy way to look at life, to look at everything. So, I don't know if anyone has ever experienced art therapy or EMDR. Highly, highly recommend talking to your therapist or looking into a therapist that has this, that has the ability to do this. And I feel like trauma doesn't always look like a car accident or something big and bold. There can be trauma in a lot of things. And I wish I had sought out a trauma therapist many years ago, but I didn't realize. I thought all therapists were schooled in trauma. Once again, me thinking that's how it should be. Anyway, I feel better after these talks. I hope that whoever listens can maybe get some insight into my world or even insight into someone else's world. I feel like it's about knowledge, I'm tired of playing the blame game. I can blame my life or how it's turned out on, or the road it was going down on, things that happened to me that were not good. And that was also why, a part of the reason that I wanted to go to rehab. I was really over the blame game. I'm done blaming. It happened. And I want to move on. And I am moving on. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that's my session for today. I hope that this made sense. And I will try to do a session again soon. Thank you. Have a great day.